So, here I am, back again in the woods with my dog, going for a walk and talking about a topic that makes me emotional. I was thinking about doing more videos in German, but I just don't feel it, because the whole German speaking sphere is actually quite uninfluential, unimportant and quite ignorant for the bigger topics around the world. They are very focused on their little bubble in the middle of Europe, and I can't be bothered to talk about that. Second, I don't want people walking in the woods listen in to what I have to say, and English is still very mythical, fairy tale language for most people here, which again shows how ignorant people are here. In the past, I often had political discussions. Today this will be a hybrid mix between politics and philosophy, because actually I think politics are over. It's quite useless. I mean, it's just the expression. Politics is just the real societal expression of philosophy and moral and logical organization of a society. But the thing is, we totally lost that. Politics is only serving itself and is super useless because of that. So in the past I had political discussions with people, and at some point I wanted to show them a video or a site or a podcast or whatever, and then it was like do you speak English? How good is your English? Because this podcast, this video, this explanation of certain topics, it's only in English. Nah, I don't speak English very well. I can't watch it. I will not understand it in English. So why am I even talking to you? Because when I speak to someone about the greater topics of society, politics, the world, economics, philosophy, human behavior and so on, and they tell me they don't speak English, it's like philosophizing, maybe that's a word, about colors and art with a blind person. Yeah, so this also again shows how ignorant people are, and why I stopped bothering speaking to them entirely. At the moment I sometimes try to spread a bit of philosophical moral awareness, but actually I can't be bothered, because I don't know if you're if you know the NPC meme, but for me this is quite real. Yeah, people are so ignorant that they almost seem like they're not real people. Yeah, I could go deeper into that topic, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about ignorance, ignorant people, and I was watching a video. I will go into that later and into the comment section, read a bit and tell you my opinions about what's written, what the opinions of other people, kind of a reaction maybe. And now there was a deer. Now I will stop being secret about the topic. The topic is the ignorant people of the boomer. The boomer. So let's now specify what I mean. This is a generation of people existing now. Not all of them are existing at this point in time, because some of them died, and sadly, maybe, probably, and their impact, the impact of the boomer on society and the world and its state. At first I have to set the baseline of what I really believe. Every generation has the duty and the possibility to change reality and society and certain dogmatic norms in some way. Yeah, you cannot change everything 100%. This is not possible and also not realistic. But let's go there. Cherry, da geh mal. But the boomer, who was born after the Second World War, like around 10 years later, let's say it, let's specify it like that. Please don't get angry at me because I get the dates wrong. There is a lot of topics I will discuss today, and you can get angry quite a bit because I will not hold back today. I will be controversial. If you're a boomer and fall into the categories I will name now, then you might get angry at me, but probably you should get or be angry at yourself for being played by the deep state and the powers in power, the entities in power. So the boomer was born around 10 years after the Second World War. They might differ a bit from country to country, because in Europe and especially in the German-speaking sphere, it was quite a different reality than to the US. The US were not subjected to bombings and destruction and whatever, and also they won the war, and it's quite different to the psychology of people if you're the winner of a war or the loser, and if you're on the right or wrong side of history, what we say now, which is also a ruse. Yeah, it's a lie, because we were all on the right or wrong side of history. So the boomers were born into a world where things were going up, like positively, in a positive direction, because the war was over and people were able to rebuild society and thrive. Of course, they had some difficulties with their parents, especially in Europe, because all of them lived through a quite devastating war and were traumatized and were not the best parents or even people. But they were hard as nails and strong, and they worked like crazy and built a quite effective, productive and prosperous society. So the boomers, who nowadays write all these winnings, all these achievements on their flags, which they didn't do that, they didn't build that, it was the generation before them. They were born into a quite easy life. Yeah, because when you talk to them today, they're like, oh, we did this, we did that, we could go outside and we played and they drank and whatever. All these rules were not in place. Everything was easy. You could buy a property for cheap and you had a job for decades. It was paid well. You could even have a one-income household, raise a family, go to holiday twice a year. All those things that are not possible today anymore, they had. But this was built on the backs of the previous generation. Yeah, dear boomers, you didn't do that. Yeah, everything was broken because of a war, and everything was rebuilt by the generation before you, not by you. Because actually you're the fattest, laziest, most hedonistic, most selfish generation in the existence of humanity. That's you. But that's fine. That's fine. We will rebuild if you don't sell us out to AI and the deep state and the new world order, and we are all slaves after your reign. Then we will have the possibility to rebuild everything, and we will do that. We are happy to do that. We're up to the task. But the thing is, everything we complain about today was put in place, built, and voted into power by the boomer generation. Everything. LGBTQ, plant obsolescence, glyphosate in the food, CO2 taxation, the whole issue with the transgender issues, yeah, mental illness, whatever we have, yeah, the worst kind of feminism, the worst kind of immigration. Everything was put into place, voted into power, and executed by the boomer generation. This is the most destructive, and in my opinion, most evil generation to ever exist. Yeah, because you're not evil because you decide one day you're evil. You're evil because you follow the devil, Satan. Yeah, and how do you follow the devil? You go into your desires. Yeah, you're following your hedonistic urges. You're selfish. You're greedy. You're all this. You're self-loathing. You're self-pitying yourself. How bad you have it. My parents. No one told me ever that I'm loved. Yeah, whatever. All this shit. Yeah, puts you down. I already told you, I will not hold back, because there is nothing that makes me as angry as the boomer generation. And I have a full battery and an empty SD card, so there is quite some time for me to ramble about this generation. Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't have it. It's not that the people of this generation are especially evil, but they were in the situation to change the world. All this hippie bullshit. Yeah, my parents were. There are two kind of boomers. Yeah, the poor ones and the good off ones. The poor ones were hippies, and the good off ones were like. Are the boomers we complain today? But I want to complain about both, because. Let's talk about my parents. My parents were hippies, and they were like super alternative, and they wanted to change the world and be progressive. And all this LGBTQ global homo bullshit comes from those people. Yeah, they were. They didn't invent it, but they were the vessel, because the deep state, the satanic powers in power. powers in power, satanic people in power, they saw those easy to impress, easy to indoctrinate people that hate their parents and everything that was before them, and they were open to all kinds of propaganda and bullshit, and they ate it up like cake. Yeah, they still do. Those are the people that after COVID and everything that happened in the last years, I mean, since I'm born, I will be 40 this year. Since I'm born, there was one psyops after the other. Yeah, like every 2 years, every year, there's another thing. From the sour rain, the woods dying, I told it in another video. Yeah, eating margarine, every war, Afghanistan, first Gulf, first Middle Eastern War, second Bush, Clinton, you know it. You know it all. We know it. We are the generation to change it, not those wankers. Yeah, these weak, self-loathing bullshit motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have these people make me so angry. Yeah, but they had the chance to change it, but they were too stupid, too philosophically and religiously and spiritually illiterate. They're just wankers who think they know things, but they know nothing. Yeah, they don't even speak another language where we are. Yeah, if you're not able to speak at least 2 languages, what the fuck? What's going on with you? Yeah, I mean, really, you just have to expose yourself to another language. Yeah, I didn't learn English at school. I learned it by exposing myself to material and learning the language like children do it. Yeah, okay. So they had the chance, but they were just too weak. Yeah, and this is why I'm super angry at this generation, because they told me that being weak is fine. Being selfish is fine. Being a weak, lazy, self-loathing, self-pitying man is fine. But it's not. It's not. You have a duty to yourself at first to be strong. In any way you can be. Not hard, yeah, not overly hard, not cruel, but at least strong for yourself. And the second thing is you have to be strong for the generations after you and the generations before you. You owe it to them in the way you want, okay? You don't have to be what they want you to be, but at least be strong in a way that you can be proud at yourself. Yeah, and this generation, they taught us all the wrong things, all the wrong things. Be weak, be over emotional, be lazy, don't build anything. And this generation destroyed in 40 years, yeah, for 30-40 years, they destroyed everything the previous generation worked for their whole lives. It takes one shitty generation to destroy a civilization. Yeah, look at Rome. This is where we are now. 1,000 years of culture and achievements and society can be gone in one generation. And this is the boomer generation. The boomer, they are the GAU. Größter anzunehmender Unfall. Ja. Greatest asshole generation. Gag. So, and now they tell us to work harder or to not be lazy, and they, you know, old people berating or cursing at the at the next generation, not the previous generation. You can curse at the previous generation, but not at the next. I tell you why. Because you built that. Yeah, you built them. You educated them. You were their example to live. So if the next generation after you is shit, then it's your fault. Yeah, motherfucker, it's your fault. That's why I never curse about the youth. What? About the phones and everything and the way they talk? Yeah, we did that. We did that. Our generations did that. The previous generations did that. It's not their fault, it's our fault. And I tell you what. So let's get back to the topic. Let's get out of cursing at people and back to philosophy. So, after the hardest nails war generation built everything, came a generation that was opposed to everything of the previous generation, and there were some good things about it. There were also some bad things about the previous generation, being overly hard, being cruel, being socially unavailable, and so on. Yeah, but hard work and discipline are not to put away. We still need that, and also something like honor. When I talk about honor, people look at me like I'm talking about the Yeti or aliens. I'm talking about honor. Like, I tell you what it is for me, yeah? It's being satisfied and emotionally okay with your own actions. Looking into the mirror and thinking, you were fair, you were good, you tried to be fair, and make the best of the situation. And this evil boomer generation made it that this word, honor, Ehre, is a bad word. What the fuck? Yeah? God and honor are now strange words to use. When I tell people I believe in God, they look at me the same way, like I'm a crazy person. When I say I believe in honor, I'm here for my family, for my kids, that's what I work for. They're like, yeah, you never did that. Fuck you. Yeah, you hedonistic piece of shit. All you cared about was yourself your whole life. Yeah. And you tell me now about the generational contract, yeah, Generationenvertrag, that I have to work for your pension? Where did I sign that? And shouldn't it be part of this contract that you don't destroy the country and society for the next generation? Piece of shit. I mean it. I hate those people so much. And now let's talk about examples, yeah? Like, some of those people, yeah, like here, they bought flats or houses in Vienna, in the capital city of Austria, for around 100,000 to 200,000 shilling. This was the previous currency before we had the euro, and exchanged with with currency today, this is between 10 and 20,000 euros or dollars, around that. I mean, this is a fucking joke, and now they sell it for 500,000. Yeah, 500,000, and this is the real inflation we have, and how? But this is like how many times the salary? And in the past, they could pay off that in 2 or 3 years. And now I have to work a whole life, and I can pay it off maybe when in the past you bought it a one person household, a one working earning person household could buy a property and pay it off under 5 years. And now both parents, adults in a family have to work their whole life to pay off a mortgage, whatever it is called. Are you crazy? And we're just supposed to work harder? Fuck you. Yeah, the moment you're old, you're in a old person home. All of you, your whole generation will go into history as the most evil, most selfish, most hedonistic, most useless generation ever. You could have changed the world. But you bought in all this New World Order bullshit, yeah, that destroyed our our societies, and the only thing that productive you did was enrich yourselves. Yeah, so like the previous generation left several properties, you sell it all. You sell it all. Nothing goes to the grandchildren of those people or your children. You sell it. You build like pools and go to cruises and make Weltreise. You go around the world and go for holidays and buy the third car. Yeah, and say and the thing is, I talk with those people a lot. Yeah, if they see this video. They need to use a translator to even understand me, but they will not like me anymore. So I'm working at a restaurant sometimes, and it's only old people. You have it here. It's only old people because those are the only people with time and money anymore. No young people have time and money. Yeah, and they go to the restaurant and complain about the size of the schnitzel because it's too small, because they're not fat enough, because they need to be this lazy fat generation needs to be more lazy and more fat. So they come to the restaurant and talk to me, and they say, "Oh, the state of the world, it's so shitty, it's so bad, but at least I don't have to live that long anymore. I will die before it's too bad." That's what you tell your children, generation, the generation that is working now, that is living now, that you tell them everything is super shitty. You inherited the fucking world after World War, the best place and time to be in the best place, you know, in the middle of Europe or in the middle of US, where everything was possible. You inherited that in the best time, where the war was over, everything was going upside. We were like, "Wonder world, the people." Yeah. This, you know, the feeling we had in the 80s and 90s. You inherited that, and now you tell me everything is shit, and at least you don't have to live through that. Yeah, but we have. We have to live through that, and you voted that into power and still do. You still vote the same satanistic, self-involved bullshit parties you ever did. I'm even spitting. So, and I'm supposed to not hate you? How? How would anyone not hate those people? I even think they hate themselves, because they realize that all they did was buying into this capitalistic, hedonistic, soulless narrative without any moral, without any spirituality, because this is what happened. They kind of socially outlawed, religion. Yeah, they all go to church and whatever, but they don't believe. They don't believe in a God, otherwise they would act differently. They wouldn't be as selfish. They wouldn't be as hedonistic. Yeah? They wouldn't be as destructive, because all they do is a sin. The moment they rise in the morning, it's sinning, selfish bullshit. Yeah? And yeah. I'm quite angry at those people, but that's fine. Anger is a super creative force, and with this anger I will rebuild. And this is the second part of this video, will be how we change this reality and how we rebuild what those evil people, and this is what I call them. My mother is also evil, because being weak is evil. The demons, the evil forces on the other plane of existence, need weakness. This is what it all boils down to. Yeah, we talk about the 7 deadly sins. Yeah, but to give in to one of those, you can enjoy your life. Yeah, but don't let those vices, those urges control you. The moment you're controlled by those urges and are not in control anymore, it gets evil. And it's all boiled down. Yeah, I try to boil down things, or come to the most narrow conclusion is weakness. Yeah, you need to be strong to resist immediate gratification for future gratification. To not because you're also a soul, you're also a human being, and when you destroy yourself, you're also sinning. And my mother is super weak. I never knew that until I was an adult and had a family myself. She took the easy way, like almost all the time. And I'm not even angry at her for beating me when I was a child. Yeah, shit happens. But I'm angry at her for not talking to me about it and not owning her mistakes and saying I was overwhelmed, it was hard, you didn't behave, I didn't know what to do, it was whatever, yeah. Just really talk to the victim of your weakness. And the next thing is, yeah, she was a drug addict and still is a drug addict, and marijuana is a drug for everything. Yeah, if you're an alcoholic or smoke cigarettes or whatever, these are drugs. If you're a foodie, today we are foodies. Yeah, if indulging and if your urges are that important that you call yourself a foodie or a pothead or whatever you want to call yourself, you're gone, you know, you're down the deep end. It's already a demon speaking, not yourself. Let's go there. Komm, da geh mal. So, yeah, this is quite a ramble. So they destroyed everything that was good and didn't evolve and didn't build on everything they were able to change and build on. They had the possibility to change the world. They had the possibility to evolve the way we behave and eat and act and consume. But they didn't, because they bought in all those superficial propaganda pieces that was put in front of them. Every other year there is a new apocalypse catastrophe coming, and every other year there is a new fad on what we're supposed to eat, how we're supposed to move. Motherfuckers, we're humans for 2000 years. Just look into the past, but you're too stupid to look into history and into the past to understand what's going on. This is the most stupid, selfish, self-involved generation to be in existence, because they had everything in their grasp, all the information in the world. They don't even know how to use a computer properly. They cannot use a computer, and they cannot speak the English language, which is a global language. Yeah, this is. I don't care about the UK or the Queen or the US as much as I care about this tool that I have to understand other people. It's about communication, and it's about understanding other human souls. And they don't even use it. They're not connected to other humans. And they think they can talk to me like we're on the same level. What even are you? Are you even human? What are you? No, really, those people. Yeah? And they cannot use a computer. Yeah, they cannot use a computer and look on YouTube or on Google or on whatever, look something up, connect with people and connect to themselves. All they did was buying self-help books and propaganda pieces and eating it all up. Yeah, up their own asses, and they smell their own farts and they're like, oh, we're so good. We achieved so much. You achieved nothing. Yeah, you all you did was put yourself behind the capitalistic machine and be self-involved and hedonistic, and you everything you did was in vain. Yeah, you wasted your, that's what I wanted to say, you wasted your lives away for nothing. And now we, the next generation, have to try again. Okay, now it's our, yeah. If you don't sell us out to big, whatever, big state, big pharma, big communism, big evil, the Satan, yeah? Because you make contracts on, you sell your property, your agricultural property to Bill Gates and BlackRock. You sell the water rights, the mineral rights. You sell our planet to evil, to Satan, and look in our faces and tell us, at least I will not live long enough to see what's happening. And then you voted for mass immigration, and all of that. And you look into my face and talk to me like you're not Satan. What the fuck? Really? Yeah. And we had the chance, every generation, and I will try. Yeah, I will try. We have to cultivate moral philosophy, but it's already all there for 2000 years. Yeah, just look into Marc Aurel, into Epictet, into whatever, into Buddha. Yeah. They have a Buddha, a plastic Buddha in their garden, and the fat one, the Chinese fat one, propaganda Buddha, whatever, yeah, they have it in their garden, and they talk to me about all those New Age, satanistic bullshit, but they have no moral. They have no real philosophy. They have no understanding about history. They have no understanding about global affairs. And they, yeah. So, I think my point is made that these people are the worst. But what do we have to do? We have to buy properties as much as we can and as long as they're still available, where we can, in rural areas where they're still affordable and available, near small towns with around 5 to 10,000 inhabitants, and we have to build not like in a commune. Yeah, this is bullshit. Also, they commune bullshit. This is something from the boomer motherfuckers. Yeah, free love and all this bullshit, like this hedonistic shit, fucking around and whatever. Yeah, this is boomer stuff. We don't do that. Yeah, we're moral people. We commit to one partner if it's okay partner. Yeah, we work problems out, we stay together, we raise a family, we work hard. We're not like the boomers. We don't run away, we don't divorce the moment it's not comfortable. Yeah, we try to educate our children. We try to work things out. Yeah, so we need to buy properties as long as they're still available, as long as our satanic forefathers didn't sell them to BlackRock and Bill Gates. And we have to be smart and ingenious and buy things, build things. Yeah, because we cannot buy things, we don't have the capacity to buy things like they did. But you can be poor, but you cannot be poor and stupid. I'm not allowed to say the word stupid, dumm, yeah, because everyone looks like the same thing. They're scared of naming things. This is evil. Evil, I tell you something. Truth is God. God is truth. The lie is evil. Satan is the lie. So if I'm not allowed to name things, to categorize things, to tell truth, to call someone stupid and dumb and satanic and evil, if they are, then it's already Satan. Yeah, that is ruling. So, and now so we have to buy properties and we have to renovate and we have to innovate and have to build structures that are outside of the boomer satanic bubble that is built, that is controlling everything. Yeah, because they have allowed, this is the thing, they didn't invent that. They did not invent that. Yeah, they did not invent evil, but they opened the door for evil. They opened the door in society and they opened the door in themselves and let them be totally surrounded, evolved by this mindset. So we have to go outside of this this world they built and fuck them. I mean, not literally. Yeah, let them rot away in their elderly homes and whatever. Don't visit your parents. Don't visit them. For what? Yeah, we have this. No. For what? For destroying our future? Let them fade away. Let's restart. Yeah? Let's focus on our children instead of our parents, who were the most selfish, hedonistic, useless, satanic generation in existence. Okay? So now I have to find a bench and sit down and actually react to the video. Now that I set the baseline, I have to actually react to the video and read some comments and tell you my opinion on other people's opinion. Okay, let's do that. Where do I stop this? And I'm back. So let's read the comments. So I have seen buildings sit empty for 10 years while asking prices go up and up. Yeah, I also saw that. Yeah. How are we supposed to build something when the selling prices of the properties are wherever? Yeah, and then someone said you wouldn't sell your property for a loss as well. Yeah, but it's not about taking a loss. It's about not being as greedy and as satanic. Yeah, because like I said, you bought these properties for between 10 and 50,000 euros. If you exchange currency, because we had another currency in the past, and now you want 500,000 upwards for it, and this is just not fair, and not feasible for us to pay. So you sell it to BlackRock, Bill Gates, big whatever, and sell out your society, your country, your nation, and the children of the future of your children and grandchildren for your greed. And this is why I call you evil, because that's what you are. Evil, selfish, hedonistic pieces of shit. The next comment is by the creator of the video. Hi Wes, nice to see you in the comments. You describe very well how the real world value essentially is not the only thing that is not part of the equation at all. Yeah, because this is a bubble. Yeah, we have a property bubble. They have a price on the market, but that's not the real price. The real price is actually what people can make with it. Yeah, the money they can make with it, that they are willing to buy it for, and that they can afford. But we real people, we cannot afford those properties. Only big multinational, international, New World Order, BlackRock, Bill Gates, Satanists can afford those properties. And if you don't give a fuck, if they don't give a fuck, the boomer generation, they just sell us out, then our societies will be slaves for the next however foreseeable future. But they don't care because they're evil themselves. The real world value is essentially the only thing that is not part of the equation at all. And what you say makes total sense. These are older people who simply want to exit the market with no regard for the future of the area or local community, or society and the future generations that come after them, after they inherited paradise from their parents. Someone else says, I tried for 30 years to buy an existing small manufacturing business, and always without exception the business was grossly overvalued. The seller would rather sell the asset at an auction at much lower value rather than just be reasonable upfront selling as a whole. Eventually started my own small business from nothing. Yeah, this is what we have to do. We have to start from nothing. That's fine. People, you have to be fine with starting from nothing. That's what I said. The solution is buying ruins, buying cheap properties in rural areas, but you have to at least have several small towns near it. Otherwise, there will be no opportunity to make money and make a living in these areas. I will not read all the comments, but yeah, someone else says, this scheme is rampant in many areas. In all the Western countries, all our countries, doesn't matter if you're in Europe, in Germany, in Austria, in the UK, or in the US. The owners bought the land building property for cheap 30 plus years ago and have taken out loans against the appreciative value. If the building was to be sold, it would have to be appraised again at a hugely lower value, making the loan upside down, and the owner would have to repay the loan instantly. 1/3 of New York City sits empty because of this effect. I don't understand this. This is some business stuff which is probably actually evil and satanic, because the thing is, you're either for humanity and humans and or you're against it, and then you're on the side of evil and Satan. Someone else says, maybe Cologne is just too expensive for you. I look forward to checking in on you when you're old to watch you sell all your assets for a loss out of the goodness of your heart. Yeah, but the thing is, this guy, perfect, I will not say his name. This guy is maybe from the US, but the thing is, we have a pension system in Europe, in Middle Europe, in Austria, in Germany, that the pensions of our forefathers are paid by our taxes. So they are not this is not the money they need for their retirement. Their retirement money is safe as long as we work and pay taxes. Yeah, but I will not do that. I will not pay taxes to pay the pensions of those people, because fuck them. Let them rot. Don't love them. Don't visit them. Don't go to their funerals. When they die, put them in a bin. Really, they're evil people. Stop, make a cut, build something, build a future. Yeah, cut these satanic people out of your life. And like I said, it's not about selling things for a loss, but not being as greedy and have the greater good of society in picture, and the future of the next generations also. Someone else says Germany is in the process of deindustrialization as well. And then some politics stuff with the recent wars and things happening. But the thing is, like I said, yeah, carbon tax, all these regulations, they are put in place by the boomers, and now we have to deal with it. And they tell me in the restaurant while I serve them that at least they don't have to live long enough to see the ramifications of their own actions. It's not how they say it, but that's the message in their ramblings. I will read this guy. It appears that it is the same strategy here in the UK, using the spectre of scary immigrants created by decades of imperialist resource wars and using a bought media to divide the country and usher in an authoritarian regime run by shameless grifters who are beholden to billionaire donors who live overseas and have no allegiances to anything except money and power. In the UK, reform it's being hailed as the answer to these problems, but will just hasten the slide into techno-feudalism and the wholesale and privatization of public services. Yeah, this gentleman, I think, brought it to a point. Yeah, so in the past, a lot of things were public property: parks, woods, water, everything. And now everything is privatized, which is actually not really private, because it's not private entities, it's multinational satanic new world order corporations owned by Bill Gates and lizard people. I'm over exaggerating now, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so and we are supposed to live in this kind of dystopian society and future, while the people who made all of this possible and put those people into power and helped to write those kind of legislation, telling me into my face they are happy that their life is almost done because the way our societies and the world is moving is really scary. No shit, it's scary. But you did that, you fucking Satanists. Yeah, we should stop calling the boomers. They're Satanists. Yeah, they're selfish, hedonistic Satanists. That's what they are. And at the same time, they voted out nuclear energy, and in Germany even coal energy and gas. And they are well set. Yeah, they have their pensions and they have their Wärmepumpe, yeah, their heat pumps, and they have their solar. They have their third car is a Tesla, and we are supposed to pay gas prices that are going through the roof. Gasoline and diesel, and also natural gas, and we're not supposed, and now they want to forbid that we heat with wood and whatever. How evil can you be? Yeah, they're the caricature of how evil people can be, and we're supposed to play nice and go to, let's visit the grandparents with our children. Fuck them. Don't visit your parents. Don't visit boomers. Let them rot in a retirement home in their own shit. Someone else says, are you aware of the WEF and the Great Reset Plan? All leaders of Western countries at least are on board with it. Our societies, cities, towns are being destroyed on purpose. I live in the UK. This video could have been filmed here. It's the same same thing. Yeah, this is why I said the solution is buy properties as long as you can in rural areas next to small towns, several small towns that have between 5 and 10,000 inhabitants, and build communities, not communes, not the bullshit boomer things that they showed us that didn't work, that they gaslit us to think is wrong. And rebuild society and not buy into their superficial consumerist worldview and way of thinking. We will not go for holidays several times a year, but we will build a future for us and our children. We will not have the big flat screen TV and the new car, but we will build a future for us and our children and maybe grandchildren. Yeah, we will not have a pool. Maybe we will. We will not have free cars. We will not wear designer clothes. We will not have plastic surgery. We will not go to the fancy restaurants. But we will build a future for ourselves our children and our grandchildren, and not talk about this evil, satanistic generation again. And we will not visit them, and we will just walk on and live our lives. This is what we will do. And I think this is where I will stop this video. And yes, we don't hate boomers enough. It's a meme, but it's also the truth, and it's not a narrative. The boomer generation is the most evil, hedonistic, selfish, satanistic generation to ever exist. But we don't have to play their games. Just move on, buy a property in a rural area where it's still affordable before Bill Gates buys it, and build something else. And we have to vote if we can and act against all this great reset narrative, digital IDs, digital money, surveillance state. Yeah, we have to start new and forget everything that our previous generation, not generations, this one generation, the boomer generation, did, because they were the most stupid, selfish, satanic, self-involved, hedonistic, lost, soulless, moralless generation to ever exist. And we have to make a cut, and that's where I also make a cut and end this video. See you next time.